So if you've ever been looking at like the Hellephant or anything like that and like, man, is that actually worth it? Because yeah, 1,000 horsepower is pretty cool, but that price tag's pretty heavy. Well, that's what we're going to be looking at in today's video. So let's get into it. To the digital board of knowledge. So what are we looking at here? You got $35,000 for the Hellephant. Is it actually worth it? What you get for that $35,000 is a 426 cubic inch engine. It's a 7-liter. It's a Gen 3 Hemi. It's going to come with a 3-liter twin screw supercharger, 1,000 horsepower, 900 foot-pounds of torque on premium gas. So you don't need race fuel or anything like that. You just got to get your 91 octane. Forged crankshaft forward rods, plug and play. Now they have to sell this for pre-76 muscle cars because that's how they, from what I understand, like you can't just sell this like as something you can put in like a modern car because there's emission standards. So this has to be for a pre-76 muscle car. All right, so what's beyond the $35,000? Because yes, $35,000 gets you your base engine, but that does not get you a running Hellephant inside your car. So, all the $35,000 gets you is a long block and a supercharger. You need much more than that to get inside of your vehicle. Base engine, $35,000. Well, now you need the PCM. And the wiring harness, sensors, you're looking at between $2,300 and $2,800 for that. Now you're going to need all the drive accessories. You're looking at $700 for that. So subtotal, engine's ready. It's not in the car yet, but the engine is ready to go into the car. You're looking at $38,000. Now, we're going to have to get a transmission because, I mean, it's not just going to bolt to your axle. You're going to have a transmission. It's going to have to be a transmission that can handle 1,000 horsepower. So like the HP 90s or something like that is great. You're going to be looking at $5,000 to $6,000 for a transmission. Well, now you got to feed the thing. You got to get fuel up to the engine. Fuel system, you're going to be looking at $1,500 to $2,500. It's really adding up here. Now you got coolant and exhaust. Easily 1,000, I think realistic is 2,000 plus. Especially if you're buying a Hellephant, you're going to want to put a good exhaust on there. It's probably going to be like stainless steel or something like that. So you're looking like well over $2,000 for a good exhaust system. Chassis and drivetrain, easily $5,000 for the mods because you know you gotta have a drive shaft. It's gotta get to the rear end. Well, you gotta have a rear end that's gonna connect to the tires that's gonna handle 1,000 horsepower and not just be like a one-wheel wonder that you would see in like your standard 70 muscle cars. So easily $5,000 plus there. So the grand total realistic price before suspension, before labor, just like acquiring all the parts to be able to start moving forward with the project, you're looking between like $45,000 to realistically probably $55,000 plus. And that's before you do your first launch and you snap axles and you break stuff. Yes, it does have a factory warranty until you abuse it. They have those little disclaimers in there. This has to be for a race car engine or a pre-76. It's the only legal way they can do that. So, $55,000 plus is realistically what you're going to look for. To get it to this point right here. Well, now you got to have a chassis. I mean, you got to have a car, right? Car's got to be nice. I think a realistic Hellephant in a car running, because why would I put $55,000 under the hood inside of a $30,000 car? No, I'm going to want a car that's worth it. So realistically, like in my head, if I want a Hellephant in a car, I'm looking at 200 grand. I'm going to have like 150 grand in the car. It's going to be some sort of resto mod. And I'm going to have $50,000 underneath the hood. That gets me 1,000 horsepower, 950 foot-pounds of torque on pump gas, instant low-end torque. It's decent. I mean, it delivers. But, well, can I achieve that with other crate engines? Is this like a one-time thing? So let's look at other crate engines and see if maybe it's not realistically priced. Now, we're going to be just looking at the start cost of the crate engines. Obviously, all those things we talked about with the Hellephant would definitely apply to any of these crate engines. So other factory options, we're looking for similar horsepower here. Or something that can be cheaper. First one we're going to be looking at right here, bam! This is the ZZ632. This is a beast, 1,000 horsepower at 6,600 RPMs, naturally aspirated. Poo! And this isn't race fuel. This is on 12-to-1 compression. Yeah, that is the outer edge of what you're going to be getting for premium fuel, but you can still run this on 93 octane fuel or higher, which is pretty awesome. Again, naturally aspirated, 1,000 horsepower. This is going to be an absolute torque monster. You're going to hit the gas. Asphalt is literally going to be ripped up. You're going to fire, well, not fire coming out from underneath it, but this is going to be an asphalt fire-breathing dragon. As you notice, it's missing all the accessories. So essentially, you have to do the same thing as the Hellephant. So what does this bad boy cost? You are looking between $33,000 and $38,000 for the ZZ632 1,000 horsepower. It's going to give you 1,004 horsepower, so you do get more horsepower. However, you get less torque. You're only going to get 876 foot-pounds of torque, where you got 950 on the Hellephant. So what are we looking at here? It's pretty much the same exact price. This is going to be a high RPM screamer, though. Massive displacement. Very cool. Let me see what the displacement. I think it's, what do we got here? Cast iron. I want to say it's 10 liters. I don't have it written down. That sucks. But I'm pretty sure that's like a 10-liter engine, so that's pretty wild. Oh, it's right here on this slide. 10.4 liters. That's wild. So this is the same price as the Hellephant. So far, it's looking like the Hellephant is right in there for price. Let's look at another one. We got the Ford Megazilla 2-liter, 1,000 horsepower. This is a 7.3-liter Ford. So this engine's a little bit weird. Like, you notice how these look totally different? It's got the same tag on there. Trying to find it, too. I wasn't having any luck finding those from Ford. I don't know if this is like a brand new engine, or maybe they didn't put a lot out. I don't know, but it's kind of, if I'm going to buy something like this, I want it made from Ford. So, maybe talk to Ford directly if you're interested in something like that. What is the Ford Megazilla? We're looking at $30,000 to $33,000. Again, that's right in the Hellephant price. It's a 2-liter supercharger. You're looking at 1,000 horsepower, 7.3-liter V8, strong torque. So again, I mean, maybe the Hellephant isn't priced too crazy. Now, let's start coming down on the horsepower a little bit, because this is when things start really changing. Yes, we're not going to get 1,000 horsepower, but we can get a base that we can achieve 1,000 horsepower with. These engines need no introduction. We got the red-eye Hellcat engine and then the standard 707 Hellcat engine. So these are crate engines, brand new. Base, you're looking at 16,000 to 25,000 horsepower between 707 and 807, depending on what package you pick. Great torque. These are awesome. Yeah, they're not at 1,000 horsepower, but this is a great base to get that 1,000 horsepower. Swap out a blower pulley, switch to E85. Now you're at 1,000 horsepower with a brand new crate engine for only $16,000 to $25,000. You're saving a lot of money, well over $10,000, which can help you get all those accessories. Next option, well, if you want to even go cheaper yet, we got a salvage yard pull Hellcat engine. What is that going to cost? So a salvage yard pull engine, you're going to be looking at $3,000 to $8,000. That's a very common range. Yes, they're not all equal. You need to inspect that, look at the mileage. You need to pretty much know what you're looking at when you go to buy this, but $3,000 to $8,000. You could buy a whole ass wrecked Hellcat for $10,000 to $20,000. Again, these are not all equal. You need to expect the damage, look at the mileage on it. Can I pull it? Essentially, if you bought a wrecked Hellcat and parted it all out, if there's typically enough good parts in there, your engine is damn near free. And now you got the drivetrain, the fuel system. You have everything you need for $10,000 to $20,000 if you have to keep all that stuff. So you have a complete driving package that just needs to be transplanted into something. Worst case scenario, probably like 20 grand. So now the Hellephant isn't really looking worth it anymore, because now you can take that $10,000 to $20,000, throw a pulley on there, switch that bad boy over to E85, and you're at 1,000 horsepower. So again, same 707, 807 supercharged engine, depending on which one you buy. This is a budget king right here. Big power for very, very cheap. It's hard to compete with that. Next one, I don't think this needs any introduction either. We got the LS line. This particular one's an LS3. A lot of people don't go with that. They usually go with like the 5.3 or the 6 liter. I just like the LS3 because, you know what, America, I like big things, and that's a beast. So you got your LS3. You're going to replace the internals with forged crankshaft, forged connecting rods, forged pistons. Get yourself a turbo kit. What are we looking at for? So with your junkyard engine, everything all in all to hit 1,000 horsepower, you're going to be looking at $15,000 to $18,000. That's pretty awesome. Now, this is the same problem as the Hellephant. That's $15,000 to $18,000 to get the engine on an engine stand in your garage with 1,000 horsepower. Now you still need to put a transmission behind it, a drivetrain, your fuel system stuff. So this isn't really probably the best option. To build the engine itself, your junkyard 5.3 or 6 liter forged internals, $2,500. Big turbo kit or like a twin turbo kit, $4,000 to $6,000. E85 setup, reliable 1,000 horsepower on a budget. You're going to save $25,000 over the Hellephant. But look, you're basically at what it would cost to get a total load Hellcat, and you don't have the transmission, you don't have the rear end, you don't have the fuel system, you don't have the ECU, you don't have any of that crap. You don't have the wiring harness. So, what are we looking at here? On a budget, if you're truly going to do it, in my opinion, the best way to do it is get a Hellcat salvage or a Hellcat pull or a total load Hellcat and do that, because even doing the LS route, you're not going to get the horsepower as cheap as you can just pulling that engine out of a Hellcat with the transmission, with the rear end, with the ECU, with the wiring harness as a whole ass package ready to go into your muscle car. So, is the Hellephant worth it? Well, the Hellephant gives you a status symbol. It's factory polished. Resale value is great. If you're making something to go to the Barrett-Jackson auction, yeah, you know what? A Hellephant may be the way to go. If you had an unlimited budget, yeah, the Hellephant may be the way to go. But for us normal people, a garage build, or specifically a salvage pull out of a Hellcat, is the way to go. You can't beat it, not even the LS route. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a couple of people in the comments that are like, hey, if you go this particular direction or do it this particular way, you can do the LS cheaper. But the fact of the matter is the Hellcats are so common, there's so many out there, and it's so cheap to get the salvage ones. That is the cheapest way to go. And you get reliable power per dollar. You can't beat it. You have the whole rest of the car too to sell parts off. Each one of those little trim pieces that just brings the cost of your build down because you're recuperating the money, pulling off the glass, body panels, suspension pieces, brakes, everything you can sell off of that makes your build even cheaper. So yeah, you might have 20 grand in the initial totaled out Hellcat, but after you sell the parts off, you might get that bad boy down to like 10 grand. So you have a wiring harness, a motor tranny, ECU, the TCM, drive shaft, rear end, all that for like $10,000. How can you beat that? You absolutely cannot. Now you just have to get it inside of whatever car you're going to put it in. Anyways, appreciate you guys watching the video and taking the deep dive on the Hellephant versus other options. What would you do? What would be your options? Let me know in the comments, because I mean, don't get me wrong, the Ford Coyotes perform too, but we were looking at 1,000 horsepower. If we were only looking at 500 horsepower, a Coyote would probably be the way to go. So, leave in the comments how you would do your build, how much your build would cost. Anyways, appreciate you guys watching the video. If you'd like to help support the channel, click on that Amazon affiliate link in the description. Even if you don't buy what that link is for, just clicking on it and doing the Amazon shopping you were already going to do anyway. I'll kick back for it because you came there off my channel. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.